Warning, this podcast is intended for consenting adults. We're talking about all things non-monogamy, which means some of our conversations are going to get down and dirty. Please know we are not professionals, and these are strictly our views and opinions and in no way represent the opinions of our employers. We respect others' opinions as we know everyone in the world of non-monogamy does it differently. Hope you enjoy. Hello, my delicious friends, and welcome to another episode of Pinky and Ava's Pajama Party. I'm your host, Ava Moore, and I'm here with my soul sister, Pinky Grayman.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, my friend. Are you still beaming after the past couple of weeks of your accomplishment and celebrating your successes?
I am, and I'm not gonna cry, but oh my God, I am crying. Oh my God, Jesus.
Oh, I didn't mean to make you cry.
Where's my tissue? Oh my God.
She's got leaky eyes, everybody.
Yeah, well, Bounty will do right now. Hard and sturdy, like the way I like it. Exactly what we're going with. But why am I tearing up and emotional? Because of you. Oh my God, I can't talk. Oof. If you did not, oh my God. I didn't know it was going to come. Oof. Sorry.
She's taking deep breaths and wiping her eyes. But let me just clarify what we're talking about while Pinky pulls herself together. Her book released right around Thanksgiving in time for holiday shopping. And about a week or so ago, we had a book launch party, and Pinky's friends and family came to celebrate her accomplishment. And it was such an amazing night. The warmth and the love that was there was incredible. And originally, Pinky did not want to do a launch party. But I felt like it was so important to recognize her accomplishment. And she's crying even more now. and so I was like, let's do this. And Pinky did most of the work, but I helped as much as I could and pulled together the book launch. And like I said, family and friends gathered. There was tons and tons of food. We had music, and Anthony and I got to say a few words about how proud we were of Pinky. And then Pinky got to talk about her journey. And then she read some of our poems with some music in the background. It was absolutely beautiful. It was such a great night.
All right, I pull myself together. Thank you so much for a great introduction. I am so touched, and I am so grateful. Like, I always say that, but to practice, it is such a different world. When I say people, you cannot go forward without recognizing where you come from. And then when it's time for me to recognize myself, I'm like, it's not a big deal. It's like everybody publishes their book, right? And put it.
Oh yeah, everybody.
Put it in the Audible, right? Like not just like hard copy, but do the fucking, like full on Audible. That's so like what everybody.
That was all so easy, right? Piece of cake.
It's like a spring, spring, like everybody does it. No, and that's what I think. Recognizing that for me was one of the hardest thing, because I'm such a go person, and it's one of the things that I need to work harder at it, of saying, okay, stop. Literally, the moment I finished with everything that, the event occurred, the publishing occurred first, then the event. The next morning, guess what I was doing? I was organizing my fucking kitchen.
She was like, what's next?
And hubby's like,
okay, that's over and done with now.
Yeah, can you just sit your ass down and just breathe? And I'm like, that's one of the hardest things for me too. So I always do it like, I have to remind myself. And that's one of the hardest things for me, to slow down and accept the journey of now, like embracing the moment. And I'm practicing, but I'm still learning how to literally fully embrace into it and say, okay, I am deserving that. That's the word. I'm deserving that moment.
You so deserve that moment. And it was such a reflection from where you came from to where you are now, because you had those family members that you grew up with in the very conservative religious household, right? And then you had your partners there with you celebrating, right? And everybody got to meet each other and people got to ask us questions and they got to understand your life. And it was so symbolic of the evolution that has happened over time. And it was so amazing to watch. And your family was so supportive, even though they don't necessarily understand our worlds, but your one brother, when you were speaking, he just kinda yelled out, "That's because we love you," and my stone heart melted in
No.
that moment.
Oh my God, I love that. Yeah, I'm so proud of my family. Like, I'm sure they don't understand all of this much, but they understand that, like when I had my speech, I actually had a written down that love does not need to understand. Love just happens. And sometimes it just is. It's there. They know me from my birth. We've had a lot of struggles, coming here from another country as a immigrant family. We had a lot of struggles. And not to say that, nobody else lived that. I'm saying about my journey, my
Sure.
personal journey of coming to another country when I was 18 and assimilating, getting into this new
Yeah.
environment. And I literally, I came here when I was 18. I had to grow up. Literally, within one day, I was the youngest one, and everybody looked up at me to translate to another language that I did not know. And I was trying, like, I did my best. And that's like, but the expectation was you're the smartest one. You have to pitch in and you have to you have to grow up. You can't be a kid anymore. Literally, I remember we came from the airplane and I'm like, translate now. And I'm like, ugh. So I did, and I was just saying, like, this journey of like learning the language, embracing the culture, and assimilating, and I was always in this between, what's the word for it? Like ambivalent world where household is one way, and I know there's a word for it, but it doesn't come to me right now. It's called assimilation, or and then the other world, outside world, is very different, right? So
Yes.
you come home and your parents telling you this is what you expected to do. And then you go outside and they're like, freedom, whatever, like exploration. And I'm like confused, disoriented. And I'm sure a lot of immigrant kids who come into this world of freedom just don't know what to do with this. Like there's such a rigidity at the house. But then you walk outside and you're like fresh air, like, wow, freedom, I can do anything. But you can't. There's always what I've learned in life. With freedom comes responsibility. You
Yes.
can't just go and fuck anything that moves. If you want to keep on fucking, there is a
Mhm.
responsibility to people that you're involved in whatever shape or form, a relationship, friendship, whatever you do. It doesn't matter about fucking. I'm talking about anything. There is high morality responsibility to maintain that world of freedom. Freedom doesn't come just because you want to.
That's right. That's right. And I have to say, even if your family didn't understand the way you do relationships prior to going into that night, they may understand it a little more in seeing you interact with your partners and seeing other people interacting with their partners and kind of like understanding our world maybe just a little bit more. Now, what they didn't know
Mm.
was what happened after
Oof, oof,
the
oof.
book launch party. We had our own private after party back at the hotel, and it started off slow. Miss Pinky was exhausted.
Yeah, I
She
was
had been
coming off.
sent you were coming off the high, right? You kinda
Exactly, yeah.
dropped. Yeah, and for weeks, she had been sending me pictures of lingerie that she wanted to wear that night. Well, she changed, but she didn't change into her lingerie. She went and put on her big, what I call Mrs. Claus bathrobe. It was big and puffy and warm and cozy and had a hood on, and it was red and outlined in white, and she was ready to just curl up on the couch and go to sleep.
I was totally done. I felt like mountains went off from my shoulders because I had such a. I mean, I didn't hire a private what do you call,
No, you did it all
curator,
yourself. Yeah,
potty
no party planner,
potty
nothing.
plan or whatever. I was the one, like everything
Yeah.
was, and I had such a great help. My niece came and she was with me for 3 days, and we just
Oh,
banged
that
the
was so
shit
good.
out. We just
Yep.
did so much together, and it was so much fun because we combined pleasure and pain. I don't know. We did
Mhm.
yoga every day, went to a hot studio and just like explored over there, brunch, breakfast, whatever, and then come home and just worked on whatever we need to work on. That was such a great help. It's like the daughter that I never had. I'm so fucking blessed.
Yes, she was amazing. She was amazing. It was so good that she was there for you. So, we're all there convened at the after party, and, we're all chatting because 'cause we're all friends, and that's what it's all about, and we were reflecting on the night and things like that, and I mean, so many of us know each other so well, but there's always so much more to get to know about each other. So we were sitting around and chatting, and then somebody said, "Okay, who's gonna start this party?"
Hmm.
And I was like, "Well, as soon as somebody flogs my ass, the party will start." And we had a very willing volunteer.
Yep.
And I said, "Wait, I gotta go change." I did not put on my fluffy robe. I did have I did have some lingerie that I changed into, and
Sexy.
as soon as she started flogging my ass, it was like game on.
Yum, yum.
So, I don't know if everybody remembers back over the summer, I went to a party and I was flogged, and I talked about PD being sitting on top of the couch right in front of me,
Mm.
and how I fantasized about going down on him while I was being flogged. Well, I just took this opportunity to make my fantasy come true.
That was
So when
so
I realized,
delicious. Ugh.
oh my God, when I realized I was going to be flogged, I said to him, I said, "Do you remember how after that party I told you I had this fantasy?" And he's like, "Yeah." I said, "Let's make it come true." I said, "Go sit on the back of the couch." And I was shocked when he agreed
Mm.
because he's a very shy, humble guy.
Yeah, but it was just us, like it was
It
just
was,
such a
yeah,
small
our closest
circle.
people.
Yeah, and that
Yes,
was
it was
just
our
so
closest people.
amazing.
And I got flogged and I went down on him, and then I started laughing, so then I took a pause, and then Anthony started flogging me, and he brought out some of the I like thuddy,
Mhm.
but he brought some of the stingy stuff out, and then I kind of, like, backed away from PD because I did not wanna do any kind of permanent damage to him. But it was so sexy to make that fantasy come true. It was so delicious.
I'm
Did
so
you enjoy
happy for you.
watching Pinky?
I did. I love seeing the communication between two parties. How you now it's three. It's
Mhm.
PD, my hubby, and you, and all of you three have to cohesively engage in a way that I have not seen it before. So this engagement between three people, it was such a beautiful thing. Yeah, I had so much compersion. Hubby was so fucking hot.
Oh my god.
He was in
You
his
kept
element.
you kept saying that. You're like, "Oh my god, you look so happy. Oh my god, you look so happy." You kept saying that to Anthony, because he was in his element, because after he got done flogging me, he got to flog someone else,
Hmm.
and I got to watch that, and I've
Hmm.
only seen him flog somebody else one other time.
Hmm. It is
So
such
that
a
was
compersion. I love that word.
yes.
It just brought me to such a high, and
Mhm.
I am still shy. Like we were in this environment where's all my friends, collectively engaged in a communication before we start playing. And I had one of my partners who we've talked before. I'm gonna throw you into the bedroom and we're gonna fuck. And none like here now, we did not do that. I said, it's my party. I don't think it's comfortable for me to go and like fuck right now, right? He's like, yeah, I agree with you. Let's not do that. I'm like, well, I really want to. He's like, I want to too, but we didn't do it. And he left
And
because
when she told us that, we were like, "What?"
yeah,
We're
but
like,
now we
"You should have
know.
thrown him into the bedroom."
Now we know. And I think
Yes.
it's all about learning through the ups and downs and not to have that expectation of like, you have your road, you have your path, and then you walk through it. Sometimes you just like have bumps in it, like, and that is something that I'm learning and just like embracing the bumps and learn through that, the discomfort or comfort, whatever it is, and then move forward with breath and just implement whatever you want. So now I know it's okay. And you and my hubby told me, this is a sex party, Pinky. It's okay to go and fuck whoever you want and how you want it. And I'm like, oh, right. But I was still in a role of the planner,
The
the
host.
host, the curator. I was still in this world, like my body and my soul, everything was like, I have to control everything, not control everything. I have to make sure that everybody's happy because they come to see me, and that kind of thing was not stopping. That's what
Right.
happened.
Right. No, and I get it. I get it. But you had your moment. So we're going to get
Mhm.
there
Mhm.
because we're
Mhm.
talking about all this flogging and everything that was going on. And I think our listeners going to be surprised because we got to see your inner dominatrix come out.
Oh my god, I love that. Love that.
So so Anthony was flogging one of the other women there and we were watching, and when they were done, now I have never flogged anyone myself. And it's always something I have considered. People have spoken to me about it and said, "Hey, would you top me?" And I'm a hardcore bottom, right? But I'm like, "Hey, never say never. I'm willing to try." So I said to the woman who got done flogging, "Okay, your husband entrusted you to Anthony." I said, "Will you entrust your husband to me?" And she said, "Sure." So I got the flogger and he was bent over a chair and I started flogging him, but for me, it just it just didn't feel right. Like I was not that is not my element. So Pinky said something to me and I jokingly said to her, excuse me. I was like, "Do you want to take over?" And I thought she was going to be like, "Yeah, right. You know me." Because I've asked her to flog me before and she said no. But I said, "Do you want to take over?" And she said, "Yes." What were you
Ooh.
thinking in that moment?
Um, I'm learning how to say yes. And I was actually
Mm,
listening to that's what happened. I was listening to Mel, the last podcast of her. I don't remember. I'm gonna put the show
in
notes
the show
which
notes.
one
Yeah.
that was, but there was the whole power of saying yes rather than saying no, and seeing how it
Mm,
feels rather than like imagining how would it feel. And I have tendency to be the bossy in
verbally dominant.
in the world I live
Yes.
in, and Ava could, you know, um, gracefully acknowledge that.
Yes, ma'am.
But in the bedroom, I was always hiding, and now I'm like, how can I find this diversity that I have within me, creativity, and let it grow without a fear of rejection, negative thoughts of who I am and whatever it is that comes, right? Like, I,
Mhm.
and all I was thinking about, just try. There's no harm in trying. And I started to just explore the motions. And I know I did martial arts when I was a kid, and I know how to use floggers because we were using a lot of sticks, I think they call, right? The
Yeah.
sticks,
Mhm.
right? And I know how to maneuver
You would
them,
twirl
to
them
twirl
and
them
things
and
like
flip
that.
them and
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not professional at all. I don't practice, but I know how to do the tricks a little bit. So when I was starting to do the moves, Ava was like, "Holy shit, look at your wrist
It's
work." I'm
like
like,
she knew exactly what she was doing.
"Well, I didn't because Hobby pointed out to me, don't kill the kidneys."
He did. He did tell you the spots you should not be going anywhere near. I mean, let's keep in mind in the short moment that I did flog, dude was like, "Watch my balls." So apparently I was not flogging
oh
in the
my
right area
oh my god,
either.
that's funny.
So
Watch my balls. Yeah. I truly like I so what was going on with me when it was happening? I woke up because what happened was with me
Mhm.
after that high, like so I was
You
probably
crashed.
on the stage that I've never experienced. Let me go back to the I'm gonna go back
The book launch
to the
party.
book launch
Yeah.
party because I'm not a professional speaker. I mean, the experience that I've had was speaking in front of public is college. You know, get
Mhm.
my degrees, whatever. You have to stand in front of your class. Perfect. Wonderful. And what I love about it, because I practiced before, but I didn't over practice because I knew that over practicing for me could backfire. But I did in front of the mirror. And my niece was here. And actually, I want to tell you, my niece is over age. She's in mid 20s, late 20s. So she's not a
She's an
child.
adult.
She's an
Yes. Yes,
adult.
she's an
Okay.
adult.
Want to make
Yes.
sure that everybody's aware of that. And so we practiced together, and she was just telling me, like, tone, whatever, which was great.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah. And I think it's important to pronunciation. So my fear was, I don't know if anybody was in front of audience before, but you know how your nerves go like, and you can't speak? Your nerves go wild and you can't speak. You just like stutter and you just can't get the words out even though you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to that part because I think I was practicing before. And I just said to myself over and over again, the people that are in your audience love you. That is all you need
Yes.
to know. There is no pressure to perform. You're not a performer. You are curating your event, and that is all you're
You
doing.
knew everyone there too.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
that brought me so much comfort. And in the beginning, I was a little bit nervous. And then once I got into it, I felt the rhythm, I felt the flow, I felt excitement. And that's the whole idea of not really allowing your perception of what one can think about what is happening in front of you, but just to let it flow and be in the moment. So that's what I'm working
Mm-hmm.
on. Why I brought that event back, because the idea of trusting yourself, the same thing applies into BDSM and kink. So I trusted
Mm-hmm.
myself that I will do my best in the sphere of book lunch, as well as in the world of BDSM and kink. I wanted to just give pleasure to this person. And
Mm-hmm.
this person wanted that pleasure. So
Oh, he sure did.
I did sensual play with him. I didn't do anything drastic. I did very basic thing, flogging. But I also, hubby gave me something afterwards. What do you call them?
The
Claws?
Wolverine claws. Yeah.
Wolverine claws. Oh my God. And the guy who I was doing it with, he was vibrating. Like his whole body was like twitching and turning and like all like positive energy. I could
He
feel
was
it.
so enjoying that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would like engage with him in a way like I touch his body, like with my hands afterwards and just like check in and say how you doing. All the things that I've seen my hubby does it. So I've done that and that was such an amazing flow between two of us. It was just so I woke up. What happened was while I was while I was bringing the book lunch again. Now I know why. I was up on the
In the
highest
high.
in the
Yep.
high when I was in front of everybody, talking about my journey, embracing it all, having my family there, and not being afraid of being rejected and just like letting them understand that this is the same me that I've known
Yep.
all my life. Like I've listened to a podcast once and they said the longest people that have known you is your siblings and
Mm-hmm.
they were there from day one. I'm the
Yep.
youngest one. They've known me all my life. So I'm the same me, yet I have a little bit more of creativity coming out. This is my creativity. Like, this is my creative
Mm-hmm.
world. This is what I love to do. Podcast, book lunch, all those beautiful things. It's
Now
just
being a
an
dominatrix.
right. It's just the next level. It just grows on me. Like, so, and that's like normalizing through exposure. Finn
Mm-hmm.
and Emma, thank you so much. I love that. So I was on high, and then we came to a party, our personal party,
You crashed.
and I crashed so hard. So when you told me take over, I'm like, yeah, this energy just came from nowhere, from my feet. I could feel it, and it
You,
rose up, and it's like, oh my god, I love this.
you ripped off your robe, you
Oh yeah.
threw it to the side,
Mm-hmm.
and once you got into it, you were beaming.
Hmm.
The look on your face was like a kid in a candy store. You were just so happy and you looked like you were so comfortable, like you were in your element. Somebody from the outside never would have known that was your first time.
Wow. Hey, you never know, I mean, now I just have to learn this world. I mean, I have so many hats and I'm trying to like not to stretch myself too thin, but I love that idea of exploring in the areas that it's discomfort. For example, last year I was actually reflecting. I do it every year. We're on the end of the year, right? A lot of people have new resolutions, right? To come up for the
Mhm.
beginning of the year. And what I have is I have a board that I create every year, or like I sit down and I write, and then I create a board if I want to, like creative arts. So I could see visually because I'm a visual artist. I reflect on the year before. And that is exactly what I was telling you. I'm so happy you encouraged me to reflect on this book before I was ready for it. Now, like I would sit down now personally, I would do it on my own. I would sit and I would reflect. I'm like, oh yeah, I had put that into my to-do list last year and I've accomplished. Perfect, right? But I
Mhm.
wouldn't do that in front of others. It's just like this thing
Right.
that it's personal,
Sure.
but it's so important to share because this whole idea of my journey in this world of open relationship, ethical non monogamy, is so unique to me. And to share with others so they wouldn't feel alone or feel misunderstood like I was feeling it when I first started to walk that walk. I'm like, am I a swinger? Am I a poly? What am I like? And I know definitions can limit yourself, yet we are humans and sometimes we need to explain to our brain what it is that we're actually doing because this is not normal.
Quote unquote.
Right? For a lot of people, quote unquote, it
According
is
to
not
society.
normal. Yet we all have dreams, fantasies. I've been telling you from beginning. I had orgies in my head since I was 13,
Yup.
motherfucker. I would jerk off in the shower room with a host in my pussy, and I had like harem all around me, like that Turkish style.
Mhm.
There is sultans, and goddesses walking around with the fans and just like fucking anything that moves and licking. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to be a part of this shit. And I didn't know that was orgy, right? I mean, in my head, it
Mhm.
was like, it is so just beautiful. Yeah.
And here we are. So I want to go back to the flogging. What were you feeling in that moment when you were doing that to him?
Mm.
Because I could see how I thought you were feeling. Like I said, you were beaming, but how were you feeling?
Okay, my body is like really like goosebumps all over right now because it made me feel empowered. And I
Mm.
also felt the energy that was coming through him that he was receiving from me was like it was a flow of energy. And what that fed me, like that gave me that more strength of like, oh, I'm doing something good. I know he is enjoying it and I want to give more.
Mhm.
So it was not, it was more body sensation than mind because I turned off my mind. I was like, boot, mind, goodbye. And I
Mm.
was feeling more of sensuality, sexuality. He was turned on. I was turned on. And the vibration through his body that was resonating through my hands, like, no, through me. Because
Mhm.
of the action, what I was doing, he was reacting. And this energy flow was constantly flowing between two of us. And it does not stop. And it was just feeling of a wave of like lifting you up. I don't know how to explain. It was just such an amazing feeling, and because it was surprise, like I did not know that it's going to happen. We didn't plan any
Wasn't
of that.
planned.
That was the
Sometimes that's the
next
best.
level. Yeah, that was the next level of like, oh my God, I'm doing this, and this is real. This is a human who is engaged with me in such a matter that I've never thought that I would do. But I know where it comes from. Sometimes I'm a switch. Sometimes I like topping men. I would be on top and I would just ride as much as I want to, as hard as I want to, anywhere positions I want to, right? And they love that. It's similar feeling.
Being in control.
Yeah, exactly. Being in control. But I don't want to have the control all the time. It's such a
Mm.
huge, it took so much out of me.
You said that, yeah.
Yeah, I needed to recover after that
You said it
because
was, like, emotionally draining.
yes, definitely. Because I was responsible. I was I was responsible for this person, his ability to, to not to collapse into, what is the word for it? When you go,
Drop.
yeah, to drop,
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
make sure that he's responsive, that he still enjoys it. How much do you do it? Like, what is, some people want to do it for
When's too
hours.
much.
We haven't
Yeah.
talked, like, we haven't talked at all about what are our limits and whatever.
Although, didn't you say something to him, like, at one point, "What can I do?" I think you said to him, "What can I do to you?" And he was like, "You can just do whatever."
Oh
Like,
yes, he did.
you did do
He
you
told
did
me
do
you
your
can have your
due
way.
diligence.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, no, no. Yeah,
You
he told me
did
you can do.
slightly. Yeah.
But I also, before I started, I told him red means red. And he's like, yeah. So that's the
Mhm.
only thing I remember I said it. But in the
Right.
middle of it, I did went back to him and I said,
And did check-ins.
yeah, I check in and I said to him, like, what is it? Is it okay? I'm doing? And he's like,
Mhm.
do whatever you want. You got my full permission.
Mhm.
And I mean, I'm a newbie in it completely, like, and I know the need of course, having communication before, but it wasn't spontaneous as
So
fuck. And it was
spontaneous.
so
Yeah.
amazing. And we trusted each other. We know from our
You've
community
known
each
each
other.
other for
Yeah.
a while.
We've known each other for a while and we have trust.
Right. Yeah, and I think you needed it to be spontaneous, because you couldn't overthink it.
Yeah.
I think if you went into that knowing that you were gonna try to flog somebody, you would have overthought it and probably thought yourself out of it. But it was so spontaneous, and I just handed the flogger over to you, and when you got up and started doing it, I was in absolute shock. But let me tell you,
Mhm.
watching that was sexy as fuck.
Oh my God.
I was sitting between Ramon and PD, and I had each one of my hands in their pants
Oh my God. I
while
love
you were
that.
doing that.
Oh my God. I love that.
It was so good. It was so,
So,
so good. Oh, and they were both sucking on my nipples, each one on a different yes. Oh my god. It was so good watching that and having all of that going on all at the same time.
are you prepping for your birthday
For
party?
my birthday
Do you want to
party.
talk about it just for a little bit?
I mean, we can.
I would love
So
that.
Pinky, and I'm sure we'll have stories to share post party, or at least I'm hoping we have stories to share
We
post
will.
party. Pinky said to me, "Hey, what are we doing for your birthday?" And I was like, "I don't know." I was like, "I'm not planning anything." She's like, "We have to do something." I said, "Well," I said, "if you want to do something for my birthday, you have to plan it because I'm certainly not going to plan something for myself. That's just not how I am." So she's like, "Okay." This is what she's like, "We're going to go out to dinner." She's like, "And then we could have an after party." I said to her, I said, "Okay, I don't want anything crazy." I said, "I just want you, Anthony, and my 4 other partners. That's it." I was like, just the 7 of us, right? So Pinky heard the mission, sent out the invitations, talked to everybody. Unfortunately, one of my partners has to work, and one of my partners is going to be out of the country. So I said, okay, so we have 2 slots to fill, but I'm going to have 3 of my guys there, so that's good. 3 out of 5 is not bad. So I said I have 2 slots to fill. So I invited Hot Mama
Mm-hmm.
because it's not a party without Hot Mama. And she said she's going to join us for dinner, but unfortunately she can't stay for the after party. And I invited somebody new that I had met
Mm-hmm.
when we were at the Tantra Festival. He and I have been talking, but we have not yet met up. So I said, "Hey, do you want to come?" Because he has had lots of questions about how I do my relationships. He's trying to figure out how I do this. And he's never had somebody, he said, who has been so open with him in talking about their relationships. And I said, come and see it for yourself, because he's had questions about jealousy and things like that. So we're going to go have dinner. It's going to be the 4 guys, you, me, and Hot Mama.
Yum,
And then
yum.
after, I'm taking the 4 men back to my hotel room. And who knows what's going to happen?
Wow. Can I be a fly?
You have other duties that you have to take care of.
I know. I know. It's okay.
Otherwise, you could have been there.
Not everything is about Pinky most of the time. Sometimes I have to be
Shocker.
responsible. Sometimes I have to be responsible.
She
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
does. She has babysitting duties that night. Um, so I can go and have a good time with my 4 guys. And I'm
Wow.
so very much looking forward to it.
I love
But
that.
it has put in my head, there's a couple conversations I need to have before that night with a couple of my people just to prep them and see what their comfort zone is. So I think that's important for me to do before we go into something like that.
Yeah, I feel like you're very responsible about that. You're really like putting your best version of relationships and check-ins. Like I'm learning so much from you. Like you just busted my
No.
chops about something I've done with one of my partners, and I call him up and I said, "How do you feel about it?" And he's like, "Yeah, she's right." I'm like, "Oops, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I am gonna make up with you because I want to and I care for you deeply." So it's so good. Like I am learning so much from you. Like thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Communication, communication. I don't want anybody, I value my relationships so much. I don't want any of us going into it with anybody feeling uncomfortable. I don't want to do anything that's going to upset anybody because yeah, my ultimate fantasy is to have these 4 guys in a hotel with just me, which is great, but I don't want to blow it in the process with any of them because that's not worth it.
Yeah, I wanted to say that specifically because we have a particular way we do relationships. We build on friendships. And when I had
Right.
my threesome with my two friends, one of my partner and my friend, female friend, I sat them down and I said, "Listen, we got to talk about it before we're going to do anything." And it was such
Mm-hmm.
an amazing conversation. And even though we played twice and we've not played since then, three of us, we are still good friends. I
Right.
mean, one of my partners, but my girlfriend, we're really good with one another. We understand where we come from, and we don't have to be intimate to have our relationship. And it is
Mm-hmm.
so important to be able not to be afraid of communicating, like, motherfucker, this is important to me. My friendship with you is the most important thing for me. Sex comes after. If it's going to happen, it's great.
Right.
If it doesn't, it does not have to. But that is so, the check-ins, that is so important.
Right. Like Anthony said to me, he's like, "You're finally going to get what you've always wanted since I met you." And he kind of seemed excited about that, just saying. Um, but yes, while that's something I've always wanted, um, like I said, I don't want to hurt any of my relationships in the process. So I feel like I have to do some homework going into it. This way, once we're all there, I know what everybody is expecting, what they're comfortable with, and we may need to negotiate some things in the moment because hey, you never know what's going to happen. But like I said, I don't want to hurt any of my relationships, just because, my ultimate fantasy may come true. Because that's what's more important.
Yeah, I wanted to say I've been in this world for the last, we've been together for 6 years with my husband. We've been exploring for the last 4.5 years now. And I wanted to say specific things like, for me, it's slow and steady is extremely important.
Mhm.
And so, for example, making sure that communication is there. Um, Curiosity without pressure is very important. Letting desire unfold um, out of curiosity, not out of force. Giving
Right.
yourself permission and not knowing where you're going to be, but letting the flow of natural being you present and let it flow, yet communicating like I did, right? I communicated with him verbally and non-verbally.
The person you were flogging?
Right, the person who I was
Yes.
flagging, I
Mhm.
did both, even though maybe we didn't talk before. We didn't have a script, like we didn't sign the permission
Mhm. You
or
didn't
what.
walk through the scene,
Right,
yeah.
we're gonna get engaged or whatever, but we know basics. He loves to be the bottom,
Yes.
and he wanted that. He asked Ava for
Mhm.
that. So when she released her powers to me, I took that as desire of his to be fulfilled, and I step into the role. And I've tried my hardest to be that person, and I'm learning like aftercare is extremely important, right? So we do that as well. And what does it mean to have an aftercare? It could be that he did not want me to do that with him. It might be his wife, or it could be me. But that's something that has to be negotiated afterwards. And we did that.
Well, it's funny you say that because you told me you felt like you needed aftercare
Mm-hmm.
immediately after because you were emotionally drained, right? And you went over, I think it was to PD,
Yeah.
right? And I kind of came over to you because I saw the person that you were flogging sitting on the chair, kind of chilling out and trying to like pull himself together. And I said to you, you need to go over to him and
Yeah.
check in on him,
Yeah.
because it was your responsibility to see it through, right? So even though you needed care in the moment as the top, you also had a responsibility to him.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it comes from comfort. I'm much more comfortable with being with Nirvana Lover, PD,
Mhm,
rather than, like we're acquaintance we're
mhm,
friends with this guy who I did, but I didn't have that kind of a intimacy relationship with him. And I needed
right,
that comfort from
right,
somebody I know. And that's
right.
something that it's important for each person to discover what they feel comfortable with. And I'm glad that you pointed out to me to go back to him, even though I did check in with him before we disengaged, but I still feel like, it was so good that you were observing what's happening with him and pull me in. And it's like, listen, you got to go there. And I did, and everything was good.
Mhm,
But that's what I'm saying. Walking through the unknown and going through your journey of coming into this world, that it's a new language for me, and not to be so hard on myself. I could have beaten myself up for it afterwards for hours. How dare you didn't go in whatever, but I can't go back. What I did
No,
is to go and check in and make
you
sure
did.
that this he's okay, and not being so hard on myself, because we are learning, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's okay to misspell the word, it's fine.
Oh, yeah.
It's no harm done, as long as you reprimand the after whatever it is happening, and don't be so hard on yourself, because I know I can be very hard on myself afterwards. Like, I didn't do that, I should have done that. Why? What is the common sense? Like, what happened to my mind? As I told you, my mind was gone. I was
You
totally in my body.
you were flying.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the adrenaline went back up, right? Those endorphins were running again, right? And we don't always use our minds when those endorphins are running. We're using our bodies and, the pleasure senses and things like that. So, and I think it was fine that, you went over and you got your aftercare, but as a bottom, right? I knew I would have wanted you to check back in with me, and that's why I thought it was important for you to check back in with him because while you don't do BDSM that much, right? I I do way more than you, and I don't generally need aftercare. But it is nice just to have somebody to check back in. I have a partner who will check back in a day or 2 after even,
Mm.
uh, just to make sure that I'm okay, depending on how hardcore we've gone, because you could drop a day or 2 after.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So,
That's awesome.
yeah. Yeah. So, that's why, like I said, coming from the bottom, where I'm going to be solidly staying, I believe. I do not believe I am meant to be a top in any sort of way. In the bedroom, in everyday life, yes. But, as a bottom, I knew that's what I would have wanted, which I is why I said that to you
Well, I also want to talk about what happened after, because my husband and I
several days later.
just had our anniversary, and oh my
Yay,
fucking
happy
god!
anniversary.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. 4 years married to each other and going strong and committed, engaged. And I would say like this year was one of the hardest year for our
Sure.
marriage, which is for various reasons. We're not gonna go into it. Family, whatever. Life happens with all of us. I wish we could live in this world forever, like this
I
world,
know, right.
but the reality is the outside world exists, and we're all somehow engaged in it, more than others.
If we could be Pinky and Ava 24/7.
Mm,
Ooh,
that would be
that'd be
amazing.
beautiful.
And I think that's
Yeah.
what we're working towards it, step by
Mhm.
step, year by year.
Yep.
This is a journey, and I am fully committed to it. And I think this year for three of us, not only for our marriage, but for three of us, was something that we consistently staying committed every
Yep.
day, every hour, checking is like, are we good? What can
Sure.
we work on? What needs to happen? I have my therapist, like so. For our anniversary, I had my own
Mm.
session with my hubby, which I've craved for a while, and it's been so fucking amazing. I love it. It was just so. I mean, I think this whole thing of him being at the party, after party, and me being so fucking turned on,
Oh, that carried it
that
through.
carried through a couple days later. And then our anniversary is
Mm.
happening, and I said, guess what you're gonna do? I want you to pull out your Mary Poppins bag and do whatever fuck you want with me. And it was so fucking good. It was so I'm learning that I'm a sensual being, like,
Mhm.
that sensual
We know this.
goddess. And I need that sensual play in any kind of direction, right? I have one of my partners who would do this, and I have one partners who I do this. And I've known that with my husband, that we've done some of it BSM together, but I want more. And now, like, I'm hoping tonight, this afternoon, like, it's, the weather is kind of interesting here, and we just want to play, because this is something we can do today, because it's one of those
Not
days.
nice.
Yeah.
Um,
So spank
but
my ass, but sensually. So it was just so. He came over, he went out, he came over, and I was dressed up, like I was ready for the
Mm.
action, and he just like, I have to wash my hands. So he went wash his hands, and he just went right into the bedroom, and we were there for a couple hours. It was so fucking
So
sensually
good.
amazing. I have my
That's
music, I have my candles, I have my mind somewhere far away from my body. And I mean, my mind is there, but it's not this kind of constant, like, you got to do this, you got to, whatever. There's nothing of that because I'm totally in the presence and I'm feeling his body, his motion. He's feeling me. Like, it's just so sensually connected.
and I think you're more open mind to it. In the past, you would have been like, "You are not touching me with that thing."
Mm
And now you're, like, wanting to explore it in a sensual way. And yes, BDSM can be very sensual. I mean, I think you saw that when you saw Anthony and I together for the first
hmm.
time.
Mm hmm. Mm hmm.
You thought he was beating me to a bloody pulp, and ultimately you were like, "Oh my gosh, that was the ultimate energy power exchange."
Mm hmm.
It can be. There's such a sensual component to it, and I think you're starting to see a little bit of that. Do I ever think you're gonna let somebody paddle you with a paddle that has a smiley face on it and leave a smiley mark on your ass for 5 days like I did this past summer? No. But at least you're trying new things because it's opening a whole other world of sensation up to you that you never thought you would even be open to.
Yeah, and I want to go a little bit of depth. We have to get dirty here, naughty,
Mm,
dirty, whatever you want to
yes,
call it.
please, 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 please.
So he has various floggers that he used on me, and the way he does it, it's he works you up,
He warms you up.
gently
Yeah.
warm you up, like gradual build up.
Mhm.
And what I love when he does it, he takes the flogger and he just pushes
Brushes it. Yeah.
pushes across your body sensually.
Mhm,
And what he
mhm.
did was amazing. He just went under and he slightly touched my pussy with that. Like, oh my God, it was
Yes.
so awesome. It's the
So
same thing
good.
when I was getting shibari with rope. It
Yeah.
felt so sensual and so loving. And then, like, every time he touches me with his hand afterwards, my whole body's like vibrating,
I know, I know, I know.
vibrating. So he did that with different kind of floggers, and he did that tuddy thing, like I think it's a sand inside of that
Oh,
container.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
didn't
it's
like
either
that.
sand or oh, I love that thing.
Yeah.
It's like a sack and it has sand in it, and it has, like, a handle, and
Mm-hmm.
he, like, hits your ass with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that's
All
so
I
good.
felt like somebody was pushing me in the way that I didn't like it. I said, "Can you? I don't like it. Okay, take it off."
Oh,
So,
see, I've had people punch my ass. So, while that's not the equivalent of that, it's like a lighter version of that, and for
uh,
me, that's so good.
he took a what do you call that? Like
Oh, the crop?
the crop.
The little
That's what it's
horse
called.
crop? Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, that is good.
He
That's
did not
delicious.
go like
Hard
hitting
and stingy.
hard.
Yeah.
He just slid it. Like, he was just so
Rubbing it down.
sensual.
Yes.
Oh
Uh-huh.
my God. And that was like for some time going on with
Yeah.
different floggers. He just have different variation of floggers of like the intensity
They all feel different.
and
Yeah.
sensual part. It's just too
Mhm.
hard to explain. You have to feel it to believe it. Okay. Um,
My spine is extending just talking about it because, like, I could, like, feel the flogger
uh, I
going down
love
my
when
back.
he
Oh
does
my
that
gosh.
and then he just takes his hand and it just rubs it. Oh my fucking
Yep.
God. And
Yep.
then he surprised me. He took my vibrator, little one, magic wand, but it's a
Mhm.
little tiny one. I love it. So he put it into my pussy, and it started to vibrate. And then he took, what do you call that? When it goes into your anal, the
The beads?
the beads, but he actually purchased a
Or was
special
it a butt plug?
butt plug. But he specially purchased that's a glass one for me because I'm
Mhm.
very sensitive. Oh, please
She's such a sensitive
the
girl, I
goddess,
know.
excuse me. So he purchased it
Yes, she's a
specially for
delicate
me.
flower.
It has 7, I think, circles. And the
Mhm.
3 of them first are the same, and then it gets a little bigger on the 4th one.
Mhm.
So he started to do that both at the same time, sinking in with my
Mhm.
anal
Mhm.
and my
And the vibrator.
and the vibrator where my
'Cause it
clit,
relaxes you to
yeah,
put
my
the other
clit
thing yes.
was amazingly
Yep.
loving that experience.
Mhm.
And then I actually took it away from him because he was like, it's just hard to maneuver both.
You took
So
over yourself?
I took over
Of
the
course.
vibrator and I was like, oh, yeah, yeah. And then we just did that for a while. It was so fucking
Oh
good.
my
So
god.
my one of my fantasies is to have two men at the same time in two different holes.
Oh, ma'am?
That turns me on so much. I've squatted towards it. Oh my god, in my mind, I'm like, I want to do this. I want to do this.
I wanna do that too. I want to do that double penetration, and I'm putting it out there now to any of my men. If you're interested in making that happen on my birthday,
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
sign me up. I'm ready for it. We just 2 out of the 4 just have to agree. So
Oh, they will. They will sign up. Like, I mean, you're probably gonna have more than just two. We just have to take turns, you know. And of course, we know who's going where.
his most favorite place to be, yes.
All right. I love details. Details is so fucking important. That's why I wanted to just bring that up, that just juice. So I was vibrating afterwards, and he gave me such a good aftercare. And of course, all I wanted to do is just jump on him, and he's like, "No,
Uh-huh.
no, 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 stay with me, cuddle with me." It was so hard for me because I was so turned on, and I'm so like, "I'm gonna go on the top, and I'm gonna ride you." Nope.
He was in control. You do realize that. He was denying you what you wanted
Oh my god.
until
Okay, I
later
did not realize
to
that.
build the anticipation even more for later.
Oh my god, she's screaming right now. So he did that, and then we went for dinner and
Yep.
fancy dinner. Oof.
He did a good job. Well done, my friend.
But
Very
I did
impressive.
actually, I did too, because on the fourth year you have to, like you don't have to, but I love doing that. Like every year there's something
There's a
that
different
different
representation.
representation. So
Yeah.
there's flowers and fruits, and I have my peonies from my event. My favorite
Mhm.
flowers, peonies. Everybody who is hearing, my beautiful partners, get me
Mhm.
some peonies. Even in the winter, they actually had
Peonies
them.
are the way to her pussy.
They
Yes.
had them in one of the stores, winter peonies. I'm like, holy shit, you're coming with me. So I brought them to my event, and they're still here. And I had like a bunch of them. I just spread them all around the apartment into the living, and from the living into the bedroom, guiding him to where he needs to go. Right, the
Mhm.
candle lighting, everything was just, and the fruit platters. I had like fruit platters that I created on the table with my special baking that were leftovers from my event. Ugh,
Oh my god, so good.
I cannot touch banana
So
bread, my favorite specialty that everybody
you should
loves.
'cause that was so delicious.
Yeah, it's a
Pinky's banana bread cupcakes or whatever you wanna call them. They were so
it's
good.
I mean, you can do banana bread in a loaf, or you can do
Mhm.
individual in a cupcake version,
Mhm.
which is of course going to get cooked less. And I know we're talking about everything, but you know what? This
It's all part of
just
the experience.
yeah. I also have those nutty balls that I've created
Those
with
balls were delicious.
with with dates, and they're so
Mhm.
yummy. So I can attach that to anybody who
Mhm.
women or men who love to bake. Um,
So
I'm
good.
telling you, they're like most anybody who comes into my world know that I love to do those kind of things, and they're like, "I am
Th
coming in, and we're gonna have this," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, of course."
those balls were orgasmic.
Hmm.
They're so good. So, so good.
Yeah, and I am proud of my ability to create things because I wanted to make sure that the event that I'm hosting is done by me
Mhm.
because this is my extension of who I am as a
Y
goddess.
One of your love languages.
Definitely, yeah. I love to
Yeah.
host. I love to create the atmosphere that people are going to
Yeah.
feel comfortable. And I wanted to say to my people that actually allow me to host my event at one of my yoga studios, thank you so much. I appreciate
Yes.
that. It was
That was
really, really
amazing of
cool.
them. It was
And
a
they,
beautiful space.
yeah,
Absolutely
it's
gorgeous.
not just one room. They have like multiple rooms, and it's so
Mhm.
spacious. It's like a 2-story high ceiling. And we had the projector that they have at the yoga studio.
Backdrop.
It's a hot
Mhm.
yoga studio, and you can change the scenery. And what was it, like a sun rising?
Yeah, it was like a pink and purple and orange kinda sunscape. It was absolutely beautiful. It was gorgeous
And it reflected in every corner of the wall and the
all
ceiling.
around.
It was just
Yes,
so amazing. It's
it
3D.
was beautiful. Mhm.
Yeah, thank you so much for allowing me to be there and do my thing. I
It was
appreciate that.
gorgeous.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So we've had lots of adventures to discuss, and I suspect we may have more salacious stories coming up in the very near future. So thank you, Pinky. Thank you for discussing your inner dominatrix with me today.
Oh my God.
Thank you for allowing me to be part of your journey and your book process and being able to be there to support you that day. It was so amazing to be a part of it all. So, we want to wish everyone a very happy holiday season. No matter what you celebrate, we send you much love from our family to yours, and we will see you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. And we are definitely looking forward, maybe hearing from you on our platforms. If you have any questions or interests or desires to explore more, we are here for you. And definitely stay connected and stay salacious.
That's my line.
I love
See
you.
you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you. Love you all. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to visit our website at 3shadesofgrey.com. That's the number 3shadesofgrey.com, and sign up for updates, exclusive content, and more. Want to keep this vibe going? Follow us on our socials at 3_shadesgray, at Ava Moore_3shades, and don't forget to check out Pinky and her salacious, soul-stirring poems over at Holly_poet.